more years, just 5 more. Um, but yeah, my day job is totally different than all of this. So I understand where you're coming from. So, um, and I think we both do similar things. Yours is more what, software consulting?
I'm more, my background, actually, I was going to say I'm in IT. I'm actually a software consultant, but focusing more on the technical side as far as implementation. And then I also do technical training as well. So, you can't get, any further dichotomy than, IT. And then, you have this, intuitive medium minister, spiritual coach, all the warm fuzzy stuff on the other side, and a very technical black and white people.
I think it helps because I think that way you kind of know what your clients need. And you're able to help them, especially in the training aspect. You're able to know who's really not getting it so that you can finally find words to make them go, oh, that's it.
I will say this much, as I've elevated more in my career, like you'd mentioned, these gifts come into play. And a lot of times, one of the things that I find really interesting, and I get a lot, my clients are not, the baby mama drama kind of clientele. I deal with executives, CEOs, lawyers, doctors, law enforcement, very high, teachers, authors. I mean, pretty much my clientele are, educated. They are awake. And one of the biggest things that I've been dealing with as far as the questions that I'm getting from my client base has been, I've got all these gifts, right? And I'm intuitive and I feel stuff, but yet I'm the CEO, and for most of their life, they've compartmentalized that spiritual side away from the business side. And now that as everything is kind of slamming together, people are really struggling with the integration of, because you can't really compartmentalize that. And I know for my own career, really, especially in the last, I'm going to say probably 7 or 8 years, has been that I minister more in my job than as much as I do, with my spiritual clients.
And what a good time to take a break, though, because we're at so we'll finish this thought up when we come back. We have a 3-minute break, everybody. You're listening to The Paranormal Pride on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. And come back here in about 3 minutes, and we're going to finish up talking with Shay Moyers some more.
listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experienced Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pride. I hope everybody enjoyed that little break. Maybe some of you got up and moved around and danced a little bit. I know it's a little cold. I think I need a little heat to warm up. So it's cold. I don't know. It feels a lot colder than what it says it is. I know that. And we didn't even get any bad weather. That's what's really funny. So
yeah.
So you, one of the things that you said before we started that your business has changed over the course of time.
Yeah.
And your business is Phoenix Consulting, right?
Yes.
And how has it's changed in a good way, I'm going to assume.
And it has changed in a good way. Before, a lot of my work was doing readings, and now the scope of the readings. I mean, you've had a reading with me, so you know that it's not just your typical tarot card reading. It's almost like a mini therapy session for a lot of people. I look at my sessions with clients have turned really into, spiritual coaching or transformational coaching sessions. And, tarot is just one medium. It's just one of the tools in the toolbox that I use to really kind of help clients manage changes, manage transitions, get the answers that they seek, or with the mediumship that I do, with the mediumship work that I do, I'm also helping people find closure as well. And I think that is where the work has evolved more into, it's just not you sit down in front of somebody and go, wham, here's your tarot spread. That's not what I do at all. And for me, that it's just taken on more of a richer tone, and it's evolving. And I do a lot of teaching as well. And so, like I said, it's going more coaching. It's going more, more taking a consultant approach to things rather than sitting in front of somebody and talking for 30 minutes. I really encourage people that come to see me to have interaction with me. Let's and I don't limit people to asking questions. I tell them, the more interaction we have during a session, the better the results will be. And that has, that's a proven formula that I've mastered over time. So I think that's kind of the direction that, we're heading at this point.
Have you, I'm going to try to stick with one thing before I move to another. I have a tendency to try hearing you say something makes me think of something else. It makes me think of something else, but I need to stay with one thing tonight. So how many, when you're doing the consulting, as you're calling it, so this is like more of a personal consulting, as in a life coach.
Yes.
Okay.
It does a lot of those tones. It does. Most people, when they go and get readings, they are looking for answers to, questions that they're struggling with or issues that they're struggling with. And many times what happens in the course of a session with a client is I'm merely a mirror. I'm, that old expression, you get out of the forest, you get above the forest to, so you can see the trees kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do. And I always tell people, look, I am just merely reflecting back to you, things that you may already know, or that give you a different angle that you may not have thought of, or helping them get to the root cause of an issue. Because a lot of times what I have found, especially in the approach that I've really, kind of taken with my clients recently, has been more of, what is up in your face right now? What is going on for you? Because a lot of times what is happening on the outer really is mirroring what is going on the inside. And people tend to work outside in when they do, a lot of work as far as self-improvement, things like that. But the play is really working inside out. And what I help people do, and I actually had a client say this to me a couple weeks ago, was I helped her connect the dots and get to a root cause issue and helped her recognize a pattern that she had been repeating for 45 years. So that's more of, and that's from a traditional life coaching standpoint, that is something that coaches do. But if you ask any professional reader or intuitive that's out there, we always joke. The joke is, we are mama, daddy, doctor, therapist, minister, seer, all rolled into one. That's our job.
So what other tools do you use with people as a life coach? Do you do Reiki healing or anything like that to help them with things in their lives?
I do. I read a variety of different things. I've read tarot going on, 30 plus years at this point. But I'm certified in, 5 different Reiki modalities. And, I use energy work as a kind of as a medium as when it's needed. I went to ministerial school, so I'm actually an ordained minister. I've got, 5 ministerial credentials. I've taken, I've really made a point of, when I fell into ministry in 1998, I was asked to officiate a friend's wedding. And I'm not one to do anything halfway. And when I realized that, you could go online and get ordained, that was not what I wanted to do. I figured if you're asking me to officiate a wedding for you, then I need to I take that role of reverend very seriously. And so, I've taken so many classes and seminars and, personal empowerment processes over the last 20 years of not only educating myself and working on myself, but I have found that all of that stuff translates when I'm working with a client. So, I do energy healing. I do, being clairvoyant. I have a triple whammy. So I see stuff, I hear stuff, I feel stuff. I talk to dead people, as I like to joke with folks. But I also have been there and done that. I have life experience. I've got on the ground, real-time experience that a lot of people, they can relate to that. I'm not one of these people that hides, who I am or what I'm about. And, all of that has come in to work into a successful formula. So I really cater, the work to the client, if that makes any sense. So it's a very custom fit when I do, coaching sessions with clients. It really depends on what that individual needs, what kind of outcome they're seeking, etc.
Well, that makes